Plays, check this out. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. You know what you have stumbled upon. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the legendary New Eurekan Poets Cafe. I will be your host for the evening. I am Elemental. Happy Monday. This is the jump off. Let's go. We've been doing this for 152 weeks now, y'all. 152 weeks now, y'all. Can you dig it? Oh my goodness. Right? We do this every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. If you're watching on one of these streams and you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number is on your screen right now. It is 279-995-364. Come and join us in the Zoom. It is truly a different world. Interact with the poets, become a member of our community. Really, best community in the world. You'll hear me say that quite a few times this evening. Let's keep it going. We do this thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills, all right? So we would like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to neweurekan.org/contribute or by hitting the Cash App at $ New Eurekan Poets Cafe. All right. Make sure you are plugging in with the one and only RMT, the dopest producer in the Zoomverse. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. All right. You can find me, Elemen2al.com. Listen, it is Storm Force season. Plug in with all the great, incredible hosts of the New Eurekan. All right. Let's get into it. Tonight's theme. Oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this one. Retrograde, right? We are looking at the old school, right? Back in the day when I was young, I'm not a kid anymore, but some days I sit and wish I was a kid again, right? What are the things that you're hoping that's coming back, right? We all know, right? Some things that as much as they go forward, they go in reverse, right? I'm looking forward to everyone's take on retrograde, old school. But of course, as we always say, if your poem is not on theme, that is totally cool. We are still looking forward to hearing your incredible artistry this evening. All right, next week's theme, plug in, y'all. The taste of flavor. Oh my goodness. I believe it's like National Seasoning Day or National Pepper Day or something like that. But I want to know, what is the salt of your life, right? What makes your taste buds scream and shout, right? Because listen, I know just as much as you folks know, right? Our senses are tied together, right? So when you smell things cooking, right, your taste buds start screaming, oh, I know what that smell means. I know what that smell means, right? But it can mean more than just food, right? More than just things that we ingest. So I'm looking forward to that. Also, tell me about your favorite season for seasoning, right? So many different ways that you can flip this one. But that's the theme for next week, the taste of flavor or seasoning. All right, let's get to the rules so we can get to the poetry. Yeah, unfortunately, we got some damn rules here too. All right, poets, turn your cameras on. All right, we are trying to simulate a in-person open mic as much as possible. Plus, we love to see all the beautiful expression that you use when you're delivering your poetry. Plus, as folks know about me, I love dope backgrounds, so I love to see what you do with yours, right? So again, turn your cameras on. We love to see the expression. Plus, you need folks to see who they're actually cheering for. So turn your cameras on, folks. Also, make sure you're changing your Zoom name, all right, so the folks can plug into what you're doing and post your information in the chat, and make sure you're checking the chat because it gets wild in the Zoom. All right, poets, have your poems ready. If you're going analog style, make sure you dog ear the page if necessary. If you're going digital, have the file easily accessible or ready to pull up. If you're using music, which is absolutely great, love musical accompaniment, make sure it's original music. All right, we don't want the agents of the interweb interfering with our streams with any copyright issues. So make sure your music is original. All right, poets, you have 3 minutes to rock. All right, some folks have been going wildly over this 3-minute mark, all right? And that's why we end up going over at the end, all right? Please be cognizant. There are folks on the list. We want to get to everybody. I don't want to hold everybody too long. Listen, I'm here for it, baby. I'm here for it all night, but I don't want to keep people longer than they absolutely need to be here. So please be cognizant of the 3-minute spot. Also, you have a 30-second intro. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Again, make sure you're changing your Zoom name so folks can follow you as you're telling them where they can find you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have gotten to night 30 for the babies. All right, some of our poets in this community are explicit lyricists. All right, and some of our poets will definitely dig deep into some painful memories, some painful flashbacks, and those things can be triggering. All right, the founders of our cafe made freedom of speech a priority, all right? And it continues to run through the veins of every component. We will honor it to the fullest in every way possible. Therefore, there is no censorship, all right? Beyond any hatred or ism that people may use to manipulate people, which will not be tolerated. Other than that, thou hast been warned, baby. I'm telling you, Monday night it's an enigma. All right, you're going to hear so many different things. Trust and believe there is no censorship. Thou hast been warned. Thou hast been warned. All right. After the post rip, you will see this pop up on your screen. All right. This is truly a call and response space. All right. After the poets get up here, right, they're going to give you their true blood, if you will. Right? They're going to let all of it out on the microphone through their words. When you see this on your screen, this is your opportunity to let the poets know that you're in the building. All right? Every ounce of energy that you give, the poets are going to return to you in their performance. All right? Don't worry about your neighbors, baby. It's Monday night. It's the rowdiest night of the week. Believe it, believe it, believe it. It's Monday night. When you see this, unmute yourself. Let the folks know that you're in the building. Share your energy with the room because trust me, it makes a difference. All right? Sign up tonight is closed, i.e. the list tonight is closed, right? Signups begin 24 hours before the open mic, which is Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You go to newyourekan.org, you click on full events calendar, right? You want to click on the Monday that you want to perform on. You need an artist RSVP ticket. That's the only way that you can get on the guaranteed list for Monday night is that artist RSVP ticket. Realize they will not populate until 24 hours before the show. All right. Is becoming another hot ticket, y'all. So plug in with the quickness because it's going down. Also, going on in the brick and mortar this evening, of course, the Monday night open mic hosted by Soul. If you're in the area, make sure you're plugging in. All right, the Wednesday night slam hosted by La Bruja. Of course, there's Thunderlung Thursdays with the Queen Ray Jane, and Friday night slam hosted by Jive Poetic. All right, tonight's list. Look at the color on this thing. Oh my goodness, right? Some mainstays, some folks I get to yell at because they've been away for a while, and some brand new voices. So let's get to it. There are all my rowdy friends here on Monday night. Oh, what's good, everybody? It is always great to see all of you. Let's get to it. Woo! You have just entered the dopest night of the week, the highest energy space in the world, connected to the greatest community in the world. Let's get to it, y'all. Starting off the evening. Listen, I actually got some requests about this leadoff hitter this evening. And he was all too willing to say, hey, are you kidding? I always have pictures of my babies. Okay, I'm sorry if it doesn't come through, but look, can you see that beautiful? Can you see that? Can you see that? Listen. The one and only Rich Daddy Glennon is leading us off this evening. Listen, this dude has the coolest background in the Zoomverse. I know I didn't say coolest. I said coolest because baby's cool. You know, cool. That's what they do. This dude is the business. Rich, let the folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Set it off this evening.
Nicely done, Elemental. Nicely done. Rich Glennon on Instagram and Tumblr. And don't mind the light. I know it looks ridiculous. I pretty much look like a silhouette, but whatever. I'm not much to look at anyway. Since it's like an old school thing, I don't know, maybe I misinterpreted it differently than most, but I basically use a poems about me getting old. Okay. This one's called The Old Fit Me. He peeks into the mirror. He's shy. Only half of him is visible as he observes the ribbons of excess I have begun to shave off, piled around my feet in flabby clumps. It's as if another version of me is peering into the glass storefront of a gyro place, careful not to be noticed by the loud Greek man who's slicing from a salty hunk strips of lamb or beef, whatever it is. I want it in my mouth, wrapped around my head like a sweatband, piled into little teepees on my chest. So when the old fit me peels open the flap, he finds the erect fire of my nipple applauding his return. This next one is called This next one's called I Can't See Myself Getting Old Today. I see myself becoming middle-aged, which doesn't take that much imagination, since it's only a few years away. It will be like a sluggish this. I'll probably die around then. I can't see any further. It will follow a dark doctor's visit under a buzzing light, which will be scheduled by another doctor who used his clout to get that other doctor to fit me in. and I'll be sitting there like a tumor toy chest, telling myself I should feel grateful for being squeezed in, but the feeling won't surface. And then within 3 to 6 months, I'll be gray rope, coiled upon a bed. Or maybe not. My imagination comes and goes. Today, it's not great, but tomorrow, it may be better. I may live a long life tomorrow. All right, and this last one is called The Dance. Oh, and in this poem, I use a term called grave. It's a music term, meaning a term for a slow and solemn music. All right, The Dance. Lately, backaches flourish unexpectedly, and when I lie down a certain way, the meat surrounding my knee flutters like a turkey in heat. My 30-year-old body is whispering under gravity's piano, letting me know that I will soon warp into the curved organ, that my teeth will ebonize, that the throb in my leg will borrow beats from my grave heart. It's one step forward, 2 steps back, catching bird droppings with my graying crown. Thank you.
Now that's how you set it off. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Rich Glennon.
Good job, Rich. I always love to hear you.
Oh man,
Yes, sir.
Way to start the night.
Yeah.
You know, listen. First of all, thank you, Rich, for sharing the babies with the community. You didn't have to do that, but thank you. All right. Beautiful family you have, Rich. Listen, I love when people step into who they really are, right? He said in his first poem, right? The old fit me, he said, he peeks into the mirror, right? When you know you're getting to that point, you don't just step full force into the mirror anymore. You peek around that shit like, are you still looking at me? Yeah, I still see you. Appreciate you, Rich Glennon, doing a hell of a job. Listen, continue to do what you do. Continue to bring all your amazing poetry to us every Monday night as much as possible. Make sure you're plugging into Rich Glennon. That cat is still on Tumblr, so make sure you're plugging in. All right, coming up next is our resident legend, Mr. Lighthouse Writer himself. I told you last week, this cat is part blacksmith because his pen is always sharp. The one and only Michael Sindler. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. And it is always great to see you, Michael.
It's always great to see you too. And I will start by putting up lighthousewriters.org. And thank you, Lizzie, for putting that in the chat. That was very nice of you. I just real quick, I love everybody who comes every week. I love people who, show up every now and then. I just want to make a special call out to Finn Hall, who's here tonight. If y'all don't know Finn, in addition to his open mics and stuff, he does so much to bring community together and collaborative things. He's just awesome, and y'all should check him out. That being said, I'm going to go ahead and go with the prompt here. And I wasn't planning on it, so I just scrambled a little bit. And this is one that I did the other night because old friend of mine, my oldest friend actually in the whole world, has started coming to Dane Ince's open mic Time to Arrive on Tuesdays. And as it just so happens, I will be featuring at that open mic tomorrow night. So this is a poem I wrote for my buddy. It's called 50 Years and More. 50 years and more of friendship have passed since first I heard him play. Stubby, childish fingers drew out beauty from piano keys. Little boy boogie woogies into Bach and back. I sat on floor and pile of vinyl watching toes stretch out to find pedals. Others found him awkward and they ostracized, but I knew better, saw the soul that soared. Stuck in a small town full of bigots, picked on for being indescribably different. I knew they were fools, dim-wit bullies. I wish their idiocy didn't hurt him. Yet I could see it did, only not how much. Hard to see from the outside, no matter how close. After 50 plus years, the love and admiration has never faded. Occasional phone calls and rare visits are treats. Now, in a miracle of the pandemic-induced Zoom age, I've enticed him into joining in with a global community open mic. After so many years, I'm blessed to hear his hands caress keys and bring forth beauty once again. I smile wide as someone asks, "Who wrote that?" knowing it came straight from his heart as pure improvisation. What a gift, what a wonder, what a privilege, what a joy. Feeling just as happy watching my friend play as I did 50 years and more before when I was a little boy. I'm gonna do one more, and some of y'all know I used to be part of this whole kind of weird band-centered arts thing, and we called it The Collective. And so this is called The Collective for Bill Wood. Crowd vibrates to band, brains buzzing louder than amplifiers, music pulled along, its rhythm in sync with 100 hallowed hallucinations, sacred snake bit of dance sways in ecstasy, shroom-stoked celebration, another weekend grooving at the Grow Cafe when the collective is in the house. Okay, once again, I love this space so much. So glad to have a chance to be here. Thank y'all.
Listen, we are just so, oh my goodness, can we be any more just thankful for Michael Sindler? Unmute yourself, give it up for Michael Sindler.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah. Hallowed
Good job.
hallucination.
Boom, boom, boom,
Woo!
boom.
Michael.
Okay, listen,
Bring forth beauty once again.
I think everyone caught that. I love lines like that. 100 hallowed hallucinations. Damn it, Michael. And then with a little sprinkle of alliteration in there. Damn it, that's just how you do it. Listen, in his first poem, 50 years or more, he said, "I sat on the floor in piles of vinyl." Listen, that image right there, right, of being a child of the old school, right, of hearing that crackle when the needle hit the record, like just sitting in piles of vinyl is just, I heard a DJ say once, he said it's kind of like sitting in a circle of broken dreams, but it is one of those things that keeps us moving in our life. Thank you, Michael Sindler, for bringing that amazing work. I told y'all part blacksmith because his pen is always so sharp. All right, coming up next, another gentleman, and I always warn y'all, right? I hope you had whatever powerful brain snack that you needed today, because this next gentleman is about to raise your IQ. He just has a tendency to do that. It is time for our Tez Talk, the one and only Mr. Tezasomo. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can plug into you and all your incredible work. One thing I can tell you about Mr. Tezasomo is he's not your damn chihuahua. Please let the folks know where they can find you. Floor is yours, sir. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Good Monday to everybody. I dropped my info on the chat, but if you're on the Zoom world and the YouTube world, you can catch me on Gaseous 2019. I got a piece, I got to jump, and I got a lot to say. The figment of your border. The figment of your border, a boundary made of air, yet holds your world in place, but it really isn't there. The fence, the wall, the cell, the checkpoint with its gate, symbols on borders we know well, Kino Power's tool to separate. The border as master signifier defies who's in, who's out, and those who cross are the subject to a power that is rife with doubt. Welcome to the Alamo, a place of fabricated lore where mythic narratives overflow and truth is never at the fore. We are the Border Patrol, ma'am. We don't have any balls, said the guard with a wry grin as he checked IDs and calls. We are not here to sell you tickets to the policeman's ball, but to ensure that borders are respected and laws are followed by you all. Propaganda pundits have commandeered the borderlands to spin their tales of U.S. dominance. They engineered a story that often fails. Hollywood exploits the trope of the southern borders divide, capturing ideals of a range of hope. In rugged individualism, they confide. But the border also holds the threatening ideas of all kinds. Economic liberalization unfolds while undesirable people remain in binds. These border narratives often tell of a hero who stands apart from maverick to vigilante rebel, a singular, exceptional tart. These stories draw a line between the proper and the other, defining what is yours and mine and who belongs as a brother. Cinematic space offers a myth throughout which viewers can escape and heal from the traumatic histories that have been and reaffirm American ideals. Chicanos challenge the presumptions of U.S. nationalism and its pride. Immigrants and immigration assumptions are deconstructed and turned aside. Chicanos challenge the norms of the land, confronting attitudes of the majority. Their stories not always as grand as what is told in popular story. These narratives offer a new view of what it means to be an immigrant and how it feels to pursue the American dream despite the impediments. The borderlands express our fears of porous boundaries and integration, Messiah-like prophecies that veer toward an anxious, uncertain nation. The anxieties express American concerns about the integration of the hemisphere through political intervention that yearns for a globalization that it fears. Raul Rodriguez thought his life was set, but truth shattered all he ever known, a crushing death. Blood rushed to his feet. He was shaken to the core. His U.S. birth certificate was a lie. He wasn't who he thought before. An undocumented immigrant, he'd been working at the Border Patrol for years, deporting thousands of people. His life's work in a race. He lost his job, his friends, and his sense of self. Cut off from his family, he felt as he had been left on the shelf. Deporting thousands, now fighting to stay. His life turned upside down in a day. But through it all, he found its purpose anew, a journey he never expected to pursue. Background checks missed his Mexican birth certificate, a discovery that left Rodriguez in a sweat. Filing a visa for his brother brought it to light, causing his life to turn upside down overnight. No proof of knowing wrongdoing found. Prosecutors declined to pursue charges as found, but still his job was on the line, and CBP fired him, leaving him in a bind. Anita Rodriguez tears up as she recalls those days watching her husband fall into a depressive haze. He lost support from people he counted on. His heart aches for what he's gone through and won. Dedicated to his job, he earned his high acclaim. His integrity was rewarded. His work was never in vain. But now their lives are upside down. She stands by him, supporting him and holding him sound. I served this country for many years just to be treated like everyone else. No more tears. I deserve a chance to stay, he pleads, hoping his words reach the hearts that lead. His November hearing brought a reprieve, but it's hard for Rodriguez to fully believe his oldest son lost his U.S. citizenship too. It's been devastating to watch him suffer too. His struggle with deportation made him see a world he did not know existed. It's true. Now he works to bring back those who were deported overseas and to help veterans navigate the immigration system anew. He's changed since the weight of his ordeal. His newfound purpose is clear to feel. He's hoped to work with veterans, helping them cope, navigating the immigration slippery slope. I was blind, he admits. His eyes now are wide. His own journey has shown him the other side. He still believes laws should be followed with care, but understands the struggle many bear. The border, a figment of man's imagination, causing harm and pain without hesitation. Millions who have suffered at the hands of this incorporeal order. Words of the law enforcing a duplicity that only serves hoarders. But no human is illegal on this stolen land, built on myths and simulacra that we can't withstand. It's time to break down these imaginary walls and treat all people with dignity, no matter their call.
I warned y'all, he has a tendency of doing that. Unmute yourself, give it up for Mr. Tezasomo.
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, Chad.
Killing it.
No human is illegal on the stolen land. Yeah.
Word.
Killing it. Listen. I warned y'all from the beginning. He said it's the figment of your border, right? The border is a master signifier. Come on, man. Like confronting attitudes of the majority. Like these are the things that poets do, right? These are the situations that poets approach, and we give a translation to the people that the people can actually use, right? We don't spend our time wasting our time trying to bamboozle people and hustle people. We give it to them real. Thank you, Mr. Tez. If you don't know by now, that gentleman has an incredible book. He's been reading some of the phenomenal reviews that he's been getting from his book. Make sure you are plugging into Tez. As I mentioned before, he is not your damn chihuahua. Plug into all his incredible work. Thank you, Mr. Tez. A mainstay of our community. He just does this. All right, coming up next. Listen, there are people, I mentioned, shout out DG Clearing. I call him the Count of Contact. Listen, this next poet is coming in our cleanup spot this evening, who usually is in our leadoff spot. But let me tell you, this is this person has just been a mainstay of our community so much, so many different ways, so many different aspects. They got books on books on books, just like they come through every Monday night with hit after hit after hit. The one and only Deadpan Lizzie. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you and plug into all of your incredible work, Lizzie. Great to see you as always. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Beanie blessings to you and our community. You can find all of that he just mentioned on IG, ES_Strauss. More importantly, you can find the link to my Broadway run for Broadway Care Equity Fight States. If you have it in your height and budget to help this incredible nonprofit who helps millions of people all over the country with their health care and their families, please do so. This poem is called Days on a Backwards End. I miss the days before glowing rectangles controlled our every move. I miss the days where innocence was valued and slightly mandatory, like nap time. I miss the days where you had to play outside for fun and not force yourself to get fresh air. I miss the days where writing in a new form was an adventure and not work. I miss the days where naivete was okay to play in. I miss the days where anxiety was not a parallel career and living took precedence over existence. I miss the days where eating what you wanted was praised and not looked down upon. I miss the days where confusion was not my partner, just an acquaintance. But I don't miss living in a closet where walls closed in on me every second of the day. However, I cannot say the structure has been completely torn down, given I'm still being shoved in gym lockers by schoolyard bullies. I have only so much fight left in me. I miss the days where confidence soared. Can you help me find it again, please? Thank you. Beanie blessings.
Oh, damn. Oh, my goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Deadpan Lizzie.
Nice job.
Yeah, Lizzie.
Like you were.
Love vulnerable
Thank you.
courage.
Good
Love
stuff.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Love vulnerable courage.
Thank you.
That's
Thank you.
great.
Right?
Thank you.
Like, oh, man. Listen. You sparked the fire right there, Deadpan. For real. For real. A couple of things that you said. When anxiety was not a parallel career. when confusion was not my partner. Come on, right? When things were simple, as I mentioned back in the day when I was young, right? When you could just be oblivious to everything, right? And somebody always had your back. If you found yourself wandering in the streets, somebody would snatch you back, right? They said still being shoved in gym lockers by high school bullies. Some people just listen. Where I'm from, folks still live that high school life. All right. Some folks are, I mean, listen, I don't know about all y'all, right? But I remember watching Al Bundy, right? And Al Bundy lived off of his 4 high school football touchdown game forever, right? Doesn't matter what you do, it's always going to be a part of who you are, just like being a bully. And that's why we're here, to make sure they have no power. Thank you, Deadpan, for sharing your truth. We appreciate you for all that you do. Make sure you're plugging in with Deadpan. Whoo! Deadpan dope as always. All right. Coming up next, a mainstay of our community. I love hearing this poet. They always come with different forms, different styles. And this is why I say this is the greatest community in the world, because we are not only learning from each other, but we are influencing each other. The one and only Marilee Johnson. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you, Marilee. You got it. Take it away.
Thank you so much, Elemental. I appreciate your kind words and the opportunity to read here. So I'm going to do, no surprise, a few haikus and some pankus. If someone is really hungry, do they harvest coins from the fountain? That woman on the street muttering to herself, well, it's me. Hello. No response. Hello. No response. Hello. No response. Goodbye. Out of her element, staring at spinning earth, rocketing back home. Breathing tube of air encased in space fashion, courtesy of NASA. And the last 4 are pankus, and I usually explain what they are in case somebody hasn't heard yet, that Elizabeth Strauss invented this form. She's a regular here. You just heard her read right before me. So a panku has 2 different forms. One is a short form, which is 9 words, which is always the one I do. I haven't gotten brave enough to do the long one yet. The long one is 9 lines of 9 words. So I've got 4 of those. Floating, landing, foot atop moon dust, sending photos home. Do you cry wolf while you're in sheep's clothing? Once you're videotaped saying it, you can't unsay it. Phallic windsock, erect or faltering, it's so long. Thank you. I really appreciate your attention.
Goodness, y'all heard that. Y'all heard what she said. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Marilee.
All right,
Johnson.
great use of Banku, and really nice to help spread the form.
Haiku was crazy.
Great
The
job,
haikus were
Marilee.
crazy.
Thank you for
Always.
honoring that. Thank you.
You cry wolves while in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
Okay, Gustin. Okay, I was going there. Damn it, I was going there. Like, oh my goodness, right? Like, come on, Marilee. Like that was just, again, just one of those things, right? And this is why I love poetry. This is what I love about our community, right? We not only inspire each other, but we help each other to grow in different ways. Right? How many times have we heard that metaphor, right? A wolf in sheep's clothing. Plenty of times, right? But Marilee brought something brand damn new to it. That's what I'm talking about, Marilee. Woo! Love it. Oh, I love it. Monday night is the best night of the week. In case you didn't know, you have stumbled upon the dopest night of the week. It is the Monday Night Online Open Mic. Let's keep it going. Coming up next, listen. There are people in our world, there are people in our community, and then there are superheroes, right? There are people who make ways for other people, right? They break down walls, they break down doors for other people to come through. And this is what this next poet does in multiple ways. I like to call her the daughter of Krypton, the one and only Finn Bell. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know how they can plug into all the incredible things that you do. Great to see you.
You too as well, Elemental. You can find me on Instagram, Finn_Bell. Just 2 short poems from me. To my younger self, you waited for me, giddy for life to take shape. I long for you. I want to summon your shape from stagnant shadow. You cannot materialize. Will we meet somewhere in the middle to chase and then run alongside our far-fly dreams? Life did not pan out like they do in the fairy stories. Prince Charming hung back, derisive, faced with our happy prattle of happily ever after. They were charmed. They were pulled into us and kissed without permission. We didn't say anything at the time. We are not trying to get them to save us anymore. We never wanted to slay the noble dragon spirit or tame her. She rolls in lavender fields and beckons. Lay down your shield, warrior. Come play, weary child, after my own heart. And then the second poem is an I am poem. I am unbound hair on Sundays. I am breath catching in my chest and then releasing. I'm spreading my arms, my body, a net to catch everyone, keep them safe. I am trying not to lose myself to suffocating self-doubt. I'm finding my tongue is armored, but finding my memory gives way to nothingness. I am pain and raging at a world gone lopsided and raging more at myself for trusting. But I am also forgiveness. I am also blessed grace because the alternative cannot be given voice. Lest love find no escape, lest hate lodge and die in my throat. I am little girl, innocence lost too soon. I am different in each moment, or fear I will remain rooted to this spot. I am learning all things anew as I go along. Thank you.
Learning things anew as you go along. Damn it. Unmute yourself, give it up for Finn Bell.
You remind me of
Good job, Finn Bell.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure.
Powerful.
Always love it.
Always a pleasure. Magnificent.
You know, it's again, this is why I call her the daughter of Krypton. She her poetry is one of her superpowers. And I love the way that she always pulls people in to her work, right? I am pain raging in a world gone lopsided. I am also forgiveness. And then she had the nerve to say, let down your shield, warrior. Listen, people do this. And I warned y'all from the beginning, this is what we do. This is Monday night, baby. Make sure you're plugging in with Finn Bell, all right? They are across all of the streaming platforms doing all kinds of amazing things. They will make space for you. Reach out to them. All right, telling y'all, this is what we do on Monday night, and we're going to keep this train rolling along. Coming up next. Oh, listen, I get to yell at this person, right? I haven't seen this person in a while, and I know that they've been writing a next great American novel. Their own poetry collection is coming. It is in the works. It is always great to see this poet, the one and only Dominique Colding. Listen, let the folks know where they can find you online. Listen, I hope that you've been doing more than writing your first great poetry collection. And listen, we are here for all of your energy. Let the folks know where they can find you. Floor is yours. Well, good to see you again. Let's do it.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Elemental. You are amazing. Everyone here is so amazing. I'm so grateful to be part of this community. and hopefully I can come more often. So anyways, you can find me on Instagram at @DTruthAndLove. And I have one of my oldies but goodies, and it's on theme. It's short and sweet, and the title is Unstoppable. She looks into the mirror, the crystal clear gaze of perfection reflected. Today is the day, unstoppable, proud, standing tall, almost touching the sky. She closes the door for home and opens the door of worldly ruckus outside. She does not hesitate. Today is the day. So what if they want to hate? Unstoppable. Sharp, sudden pain strikes through her thoughts and into her heart. Is she invisible to this ruckus? They don't even notice me. No, not really. Her thoughts rewind and reminisce on once upon a time when she fell and a helping hand always had her back. She would run into her mother's outstretched arms, knowing they would protect her from harm, sending death threats to evil and malice. Everyone's so caught up in this ruckus, girl. They're too busy to notice. Get a grip. But still, some swim in the jealous sea while others just lost their common courtesy. Don't get so worked up, you see. One thing that escapes her are those little insecurities. Aha, they never fail to miss that. For they fail to realize the fact that it affects everybody. Girl, don't slouch. Keep your head up to the sky. They can see you, all of you, and everything else that plays out in this ruckus or in their little minds. You'll be fine. Trust me. A smile spreads like wildfire on her stunning face. Who is she to gain approval from? No one, not really. Justified. Her thoughts never lie, dressed to the nines, flawless from head to toe. Today is the day. Unstoppable.
Oh shit, Train on the move. Unmute yourself, give it up for Dominique.
Unstoppable.
Unstoppable. Yeah.
Unstoppable.
Yes. Great job, Dominique.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
This is why I yell at people, right? Because they come through with all their incredible energy. They set the mic on fire, right? Listen, you a mainstay of our community, right? And listen, I can only imagine once your collection is published, it's going to light up the page just like you light up the microphone every Monday. Thank you for being a mainstay. Make sure you are plugging in to Dominique, right? And look, on the cool, she kind of slipped in some Earth, Wind, and Fire lyrics. She said, keep your head to the sky. Sending death threats to evil and malice. That's what I'm talking about, right? You got to put on the whole armor. You stand unmoved, right? Unstoppable. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. This is the energy that we conjure in this space every Monday night, y'all. And we're going to keep it rolling. Guess what? Coming up next, it's the one and only, right? The cat that's got all the gusto, right? The Magus in the building, the one and only Gustav Solace. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can plug into all your awesomeness, man. The floor is yours, Gustav. Do it.
Hey, Elemental. Hey, beloved poets. You can find me on Instagram at Magus801, Magus 801. I have one piece on theme and another old school rhyme. Here it goes. This is a warning to you all. This is retrograde Ron. Let me tell you a little bit about Ron DeSantis and his retrograde views. Some of you know, to others this will be news. He's old school, like the 1860s, racist as fuck. Bans books and thoughts. Man, does he suck. Ron's anti-vax and anti-science to boot. To those who oppose him, he's a real brute. Just ask Disney what he did with Don't Say Gay. He must never be president. This I pray. His fascist views are regressive, domineering, autocratic, and repressive. Want to move forward to the future? We can't with Ron, the Trumpist ass smoocher. So heed my words and don't buy the media hype. Ron's a fucking brown shirt gutter snipe, not fit to lead this country, my friends. So stand against DeSantis, because our fight never ends. And this piece is called Into the Lion's Den. I find myself fighting again. My weapons are paper and pen. I'm a lion come out of my den. I'm who, what, where, why, and when, defying their prophecies with contrary philosophies. I got the best tactics. You'd best get back, bitch. So spare me the drama. I smoke blunt force trauma. Avoid the death spiral as worldwide I go viral. My thoughts so rewarding. Ain't no waterboarding the truth out of me. I spit it for free. Thank you.
You best get back, bitch. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Gustav.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, Gustav, always a treat.
Oh, man, we need to stop that motherfucker.
All that energy.
Come on, passion onward, Gustav.
Blunt
Passion
force
onward.
trauma.
America's
Force
ears.
trauma. You better copyright that, dude. Blunt force trauma. Copyright it.
Listen. This is why I continue to say this is the greatest community in the world, right? Because we are not worried about showing the people what it is, right? Thank you. Gustav, he said, just ask Disney. You know, you run across a Trumpist ass smoocher, it probably smells like Agent Orange. I love how you said my weapon is paper and pen. That is where the truth comes from, right? It's people who focus on what they do, not being, you know, influenced by all the things. Listen, I mean, this is what it's about. Again, this is what I always say, right? Poets are plugged in, right? We are the pulse of the nation, right? If you want to really know what's going on in the world, plug into poets. And one of the first cats you need to look into, the Magus, Gustav Solace, a mainstay of our community. Make sure you're plugging in to Gustav. All right, coming up next. Listen, we got Mr. Rhyme on deck. He is sublime all the time with rhymes that come from above the neck. The one and only Eddie Poetastic. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can plug into all your fantasticness. The floor is yours, brother. Burn them up.
Thank you, my brother, for another one like words like thunder. Thank you. It's good to help each other. All right. My name is Ed Poetastic and feeling fantastic. Please get a time to enjoy my rhyme for all for sublime. I got two short pieces, so you know I'm gonna rhyme. The first chime is back in the day. Back in the day, we were small, legs didn't stay. Adults stand tall. The grass sway, ice cream trucks calls, pleasant time decay, playing fast basketball, mixing color as clay, the playground bars, the brawls, the water spray, painting the walls, doing a little foul play, hang out in malls, mulling for essays, rolling in the halls, filling lunch trays, annoying graded recalls, harsh attention. But anyways, crowd stinky stalls, imagination going astray, rough concrete falls, bright unforeseen birthdays, homework, a sneaky downfall, many days, not enough play, drenched in the cold rainfalls, wishing the sun wouldn't stray, instantly home at nightfall, moving different ways, answering your folks' calls, hitting the comfortable hay, staying up, trying to enjoy it all. Thank you. And this is another one, a little short one for the piece, say least. This is called Much Better. It's better to give than to receive. It's better to fail than to achieve. It's better to share than to be greedy. It's better to work than to be needy. It's better to love than to be bad. It's better to be happy than to be sad. It's better to be simple than to be complicated. It's better to be adored than to be hated. It's better to be alive than to be dead. It's better to be here than to be ahead. It's better to be you than to be nothing at all. It's better to feel than to be a wall. It's better to sing than to be mute. It's better to be real than to be cute. It's better to be a memory than to be a dream. It's better to be a road than to be a stream. Thank you.
That's what I'm talking about, Eddie. I keep saying it all the time, Eddie. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Oh, man.
I
love it.
Better than that. I like
Always
that.
a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Listen, Poetastic is always ready, right? That dude is like Ed, and Eddie, right? Always ready with it. Listen, I love how you went there, though, Eddie. You know what I mean? You said a couple of things in there, man. For real, you said instantly home at nightfall. If y'all folks know about that, right? When the streets light came on, you better have your ass in the house or it was some problems. All right. So yeah, 100%. Also, he says, stand up, trying to enjoy it all. I can remember that. All right. Quick story. One of the first movies I ever remember laying on the couch with my parents was an old school movie called like 52 Pickup, right? It had like Vanity in it. And I was trying to see, you know, what my parents were being able to see. I didn't see anything. I fell asleep anyway. But I can totally agree with what you're saying, right? Children do that. Kids do that as much as they can. One last thing about what you said, Eddie. It's better to be you than nothing at all, right? And I want to connect that to it's better to stand for something than to fall for anything. As long as you're standing for yourself, Eddie, you are on point. Make sure you're plugging in with Eddie, a mainstay of our community. All right. Coming up next, where did she go? All right, listen, I get to yell at this poet. I haven't seen this poet in Monday Night in quite a while. I have been seeing them all over IG doing their thing. Listen, with the makeup, with the dancing. This poet is incredible in so many different ways. Welcome back, the one and only Edith Morales. It is great to see you. Damn it, where you been? I hope that you've been writing a great American novel or taking a great journey or writing one about the other. Great to see you, Edith. Let the folks know where they can find you. Floor is yours. Take it away.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I've been good. I hope everyone has been going great so far. You can find me in Lil Wicked, LILWICKED 01_1014. I've been also working on new merch, as you can see with my hoodie, original artwork with my notebooks here, as you can see, for my fellow poets. So let's get into it. The title is called Just for Today. I'm cleaning my ancestors' altar. My father's white NA medallion with golden words affirm, just for today, stares at me. I hold it to my chest like a pacemaker, hoping my heartbeat brings him to life. On most days, I'm fine. Greet bendición, papi. Give libations of café with 3 sugars, cigar, prayer. Sometimes his brute aftershave pays me a visit. Some nights, my head disowns my body, rolling through abandoned tombstones with names no one cared to remember. Is that how he felt when he died alone? The first week he was gone, I asked Papi, who was responsible for your death? The autopsy reports narcotics. My father pointed towards home. The culprits are broken hearts. There's nothing more alone than that. I wanted nothing more to devour his monsters, purge them all to a clean slate, just for today. Thank you, everyone, for having me. Once again, you can find me in Lil Wicked 01_1014. I'm going to be putting it in the chat. Also, I have new merch. You can find it in my Etsy shop, in my link tree as well. So thank you so much.
Yo, that's why I yell at people when they come back. Give it up for Edith Morales.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Great job, Iris.
Smashed it.
Amazing.
Yes.
Sharing sounds.
Yes, you killed it.
Okay, Tabs, tell her about it, right? Killed it. Listen, I love when our mainstays come back, they show up and they show out, right? I have seen the new merch. I have seen the design. It is fly, Edith. Dope. Make sure, folks, you are plugging into all that Edith is doing. Again, a mainstay of our community, and they happen to do this thing, right? Listen, she said rolling through abandoned tombstones, right? And I saw a couple of people mention that, right? They mentioned the 3 sugars. She said a cigar and a prayer. gosh. Like, you know how many people start their mornings like that? You know how many people end their days like that, right? Thank you, Edie. Welcome back. Make sure you are finding yourself on Monday night as much as possible. We truly have missed your energy and we enjoy all that you do. All right. Before we move on, real quick, I want to shout out a couple of people in the room. I did see Denisha had come through. Appreciate you for coming through. The Jedi Master, Paul Skiff, is in the building. It's always great to see that, cat. Listen, Poet Talk, all the way from Japan, the brother Poet Talk in the building. What's good? Always good to see that, cat. Man, for real. Appreciate you. Professor Platinum is in the building. Doug Silver. Listen, always good to see that, cat. Listen, these folks, they make sure this Monday night goes on the way it does. I see you, Deadpool. I see you. Also, shout out to Queen Thunder Lung in the building. We will get to you in a minute. All right, coming up next. This gentleman, I had the pleasure of meeting. I had the pleasure of interviewing in another space. And let me tell you, this gentleman is all kinds of incredible. If you take the time to sit down and talk to him, he has more stories than some of us have poems, all right? From a very, very long way away from where we are, I believe, hailing from Scotland, the one and only Finn Hall. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is great to see you again, sir. Floor is yours.
Yo, it's 2 in the morning, and what more the dawning. Morning, everyone. Hi, my name's Finn Hall. You can find me on Facebook, on Twitter, under this name, or under my whatever else I do name, which is Like a Block from the Blue, which is first equal greatest Zoom show in the world on a Sunday night, first Sunday in every month. This one coming up this Sunday. We have at the moment 37 readers lined up to go from everywhere, from Singapore to Gustav. Anyway, I've got a couple for you tonight. I've got to plug a new book I've got before I go into this called Headspace. It's a new project written by me, my daughter, and my 14-year-old granddaughter. It's a new book. You can find it on Amazon, man. Right, we're going to do one. I'm going to do less serious tonight. None of my TV stuff or political stuff. This first one's called Obsolete. You like mixtapes? This is obsolete. There are no moving parts in digitals, no whirs, crackles, or jumps, or crunching thumps as the needle goes down too hard. No pen to stick in the little hole and wind, untwist your crying soul, hoping the music remains whole. Nostalgia, though, just isn't my thing. With me, it just doesn't quite ring. But a playlist cannot work as well as a mixtape. A mixtape. Wow, made up of many sounds, the little wheels go round and round, your ears devouring new music found. Dance, romance, not trance, too new. Punk and rap just for you. Mix it up as you like. No graphic equalizing, each track surprising. And maybe one tape off the radio, played by your favorite DJ on his show. Who knows? Then along came digital, sending analog to history. Pure and clear, the sound you hear, such a pleasure in your ear. The perfection for which the artist strives. It doesn't know how to sound the same as live. That's two different things. But the mixtape, two sides of glorious imperfection. C30, C60, C90, go. Shared amongst friends, the latest releases. Delight and pleasure, even with slight creases. Who knew that a few inches of plastic, cheap and flat, could be so versatile and bring a warm glow? Created by Philips in 1963, every home had the music for free. Although it was illegal, nothing was done. Sharing the music and stories in imperfect glory. Now mainly gone. No more mixtape discoveries. Hey, hear this tune. Just linked via YouTube, which you might scroll past. All good things end, I'm aware, in the 70s and 80s craze of recording the mixtapes, which was easy to do, not needed these days, consigned to the past, just another phase, disposable future, I guess. That's just the way the world is now. And this one. All right. Totally different. This one's called Old to Fuck. Sanctimonious people lurk in purple corners, prim and proper in their mind, popping out to hear your tale. Eyes wide, attentive ears, eager listeners, just your kind, silent and paying attention, lest they miss the salient point. Nodding heartily in agreement, as from the cloisters of your mind, blessed words from you anoint. And there's that look. You know what it means? Ooh, I was right with you there until you swore. I swore? Of course I fucking swore. Just be objective to the adjective. I'm describing fuckers like you. You know, you're aware with you. No need for that stare. There are several degrees of annoyance. They're a bit annoying. God, aren't they annoying? No, they really are annoying. For fuck's sake, why the fuck do they have to be so fucking annoying? Living as they do, with sideways glances in their 21st century patter vacuum, judging others for their choice of words, with anything else would be absurd. It's not a hole. It's not a big hole. It's a fucking big hole. There's no other way to say it. I like coffee shops and vape stores and sadly beggars. There's one of you on every corner. You can't tell me what to write or what to say. You're not my editor in any fucking way. It's my poem, my story. My, you're getting on your high horse over things I say and speaking thus. I have no shame shadow hanging over me. No leaking eyes of false remorse. My course is not deliberately coarse, my path not rough, but you are still a tip of us. And I don't suffer from kudoclasm. You're fucking with me. Well, I don't give a toss. I can tell you to go off, but that makes no sense. Whereas if I say, fuck off. Thank y'all.
Oh my goodness. Unmute yourself. Give it up for the one and only Finn Hall.
Only indeed.
Thank you, Finn.
Yeah.
Great to hear you.
Really glad you got here tonight.
Different poetry. I love it.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Listen, and look, we heard you like 2 a.m, right? In where you are. But that's okay. We will be rowdy for you. Listen, first of all, thank you for staying up as late as you have to share your incredible work with us. Oh my gosh. Like the first time when you said that, the first thing that came to my mind was a hip hop lyric, right? You said, "You are not my editor in any fucking way," right? The first thing I thought about was a Drake song. He said, "She wasn't with me shooting in the gym," right? This is what I do, right? All I need you to do is stay in your lane and do what you do. You're not my editor. Just be a part of the audience. Several degrees of annoyance. You damn right. You damn right, Finn. And to go back to the first piece, he said a mixtape. I don't know if y'all know about mixtapes, right? But mixtapes in my generation, mixtapes were the first love letter without paper, right? If you could put together the dopest mixtape and send it to somebody, listen, all right? And then, again, I don't know how old y'all are, right? But if you can get yourself on the radio and dedicate your favorite song to your, I'm just saying, right? Mixtapes is that's old school. That's old school, Finn Hall. Thank you. Thank you. Make sure you're plugging in Finn Hall. Listen, I know it's a crazy hour, Finn Hall, But if you can find yourself here on Monday night, we would love to have you as much as you can find yourself here. Make sure you're plugging in the Finn Hall. Whew! Let's keep it going, y'all. Oh my goodness. So there are a few folks who are not in the building who have signed up, but that's okay because we will get to them. So we have gotten to a new voice this evening, y'all. One of my favorite things in our community. We get a chance to yell at someone in the best of ways, to ask them, where have you been? We've been doing this for 152 weeks, right? Coming up next is Jocelyn Barcia. Forgive me if excuse me?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. All right. Thank you for correcting me. Like the Queen Thunderlung likes to say, that's your first home, right? So welcome, Jacqueline. This is Monday night. It is the hypest spot on Monday night. Listen, without telling me your exact address, where in the world are you located?
I'm from Long Island, New York.
Oh, she's from the NY. Listen, we've been doing this for 152 weeks, right? I don't care how you got here.
I came like once, but I was there.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So I get to yell at you even more. Welcome back. Where you been? You know where we are. You know how we do this. Listen, it is great to see you. Listen, you know how this has been going. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Welcome to this incredible community. The floor is yours. Welcome.
Awesome. So hi, everyone. My name is Jacqueline. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at 20_something.poet. And I really write poetry about being in your 20s, which I think is a time period that we so often look forward to. But it's also one of the challenging times of our life. And a lot of the poems that I write is really just about being in this decade of just all these challenges that happen. And in accordance with today's theme of retrograde, I thought I would just write some poems about feeling like during this journey of healing and working on yourself, just feeling like you're constantly feeling like you're moving backwards, right? But also knowing that there's also growth in that, and there's also healing that comes from those relapses and feeling like you're moving back in time. So the first one I wrote after a breakup, but those are the best poems, right? And this one's called Expiration Date, and really about just letting toxic relationships go, letting people who aren't giving the same as you, let it go. So expiration date. You would think by now I've learned my lesson. After trying several times to drink water from an empty well, you'd think it'd be a blessing, that God would send me signals that tell me to steer away from the desert-like people who dehydrate my soul, who would rather see me starve than believe I am worth all the stars in the universe. Yet I always run back to the pain. See, I'd rather stay soaked in the rain than wait for the sun to shine after a cloudy day and sprinkle rainbows across the sky. I'd rather lie to myself, ignore all the red flags telling me to run as fast as I can. Rather, I can rearrange the past, which was never meant to last beyond its expiration date. And the next one is called You Are the Ocean. And this is really just about the waves of life and how it's always going to be ups and downs, but we just got to roll with it, just like the waves. So you are the ocean. This message is for all of those who are currently in a state of confusion and worry, who may wonder why, after all of this time, after putting in the work, am I back where I started? Who may feel like the moment you take 2 steps forward, the world knocks you down. Just as the waves fall, they also rise until they flow into a natural rhythm. Be like the waves, keep flowing, keep going. You are the ocean. Know this and be free, that the universe has got you and me. We got this. Thank you.
Oh shit, you damn right we got this. Unmute yourself. Let Jacqueline know what it really is.
Yeah, keep coming back, Jacqueline. One of us.
Come back.
Got it.
One of us.
Stay strong, grow, grow, grow.
At this
Go
point.
ahead, Mama.
Fantastic.
Oh, yes.
So, in case you are unsure of what you heard this evening, the chant that you heard, that one of us, that means that you, Jacqueline, have officially fucked up your Mondays because you have to be here every Monday because the community has accepted you as one of our own, right? That's what that chant means, okay? It is one of those spaces where in the event that you didn't know if there were people who are willing to listen to you, people who are around that wanted to hear you, you have stumbled upon that place. Welcome to Monday nights. And the people want to make sure they hear you again. So make sure you plug your information in the chat so folks can follow you and make sure they tell you that, hey, it's Sunday night, time to sign up for New Year. All right, welcome to our community and thank you for sharing your incredible work. All right, real quick, I made a slight mistake, right? I did not see the brother Daniel Fernandez in the building. My apologies. How could I miss the Bay Bridge? Damn it, or Golden Gate, my fault. However, we are not going to go another step without making sure we hear from you. However, you know what time it is. It is time for me to introduce the one and only Ron Mark Thompson. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. All right. Make sure you're plugging in with this cat. He is the dopest producer in the Zoom verse. Ron, you know what time it is, man. Take it away.
Thank you so much. I loved it. You know what time it is. Thank you so much for your energy, for your voice, for, making Mondays a great start on, of the week. So I really appreciate it. Do let me know if my internet connection breaks up. I'm a little bit at an unstable connection, but I'm so happy to be here helping out on the back end, helping our host, Elemen2al, helping the New York Poets Cafe to make this a wonderful online experience. Thank you, everyone in the community for keep attending and signing up. Again, sold out performance list for tonight. So thank you so much, guys. You may find me personally at Ron Mark Thompson on the social media platforms. I just put that in the chat a few seconds ago. I also run my own organization, Bronx Art and Fun Up at BXAFH. I do not have a program scheduled that I will host this week. So what I will do instead is what my organization always has been doing for the last 3.5 years. I recommend other organizations that offer programs. This one I'm going to tell you about. Some of you may know them, the Bronx Council on the Arts, which is a Bronx-based organization. They offer a lot of writing workshops, and many of us here in the audience have attended some of their poetry and memoir writing workshops. You do not have to be a Bronx resident to attend the online or in-person classes. And the reason I'm mentioning it, because 2 weeks in 2 weeks, they are doing a class which they've never done before, Filmmaking 101. So if, like me, you always wanted to know how to create your own short films, full films, what to do, what involves, production from beginning to end, I do recommend that. That one is held hybrid, both in person in the Bronx and over Zoom. I plugged in the Eventbrite in the chat. Feel free to sign up. I really recommend them. I think it's a 3-week series on 3 different Tuesdays. All right, back to the New Regan Poets Cafe. As you know, we also offer a lot of many programs, both online and in person. One you are currently in is the weekly Monday night online open mic hosted by our Elemen2al the Poet. You can find them at Elemen2al.com. I plugged that in the chat a few seconds as well. Also, Ray Chain is in the building. She hosts the Thursday night online open mic, which you can plug in and participate as well. For either one of those, sign up 24 hours before on our calendar, public calendar site. The link is in the chat, or you can go to our website, newyorican.org, click on full events calendar. You can grab your free performance slot for either Monday or Thursday 24 hours before. Also, Elemental mentioned the Wednesday night poetry slam that goes on at the cafe every Wednesday evening, except this Wednesday, which is the first Wednesday of the month. And on that, we will hold Beatniks online, hosted by our executive director, Labrua, at 8 p.m. And at 9 p.m., you see the slide on the screen, Women's Orators Wednesday, 9 p.m. in the cafe. You can also zoom in and watch. No performances online, but you can watch on everyone, if you want to. That open mic is by and for women. Men are welcome. We will have a few spots, at the end for men, but this open mic is primarily for women, which is also great because March 1st is the beginning of Women's History Month. So check us out. You already may buy tickets in advance online or at the door if you decide at the last minute to stop by. And one more event I want to already pre-promote is our Voices and Vibes. It is returning next month, second Saturday of the month, like we had it this month. Next month it will be March 11. Paul Concasso, he will be here with us next Monday. He's going to tell you who the feature is. And by the way, this is a wonderful segment. In case you wonder who created this wonderfully looking flyer, none other than our Monday night online open mic host, Elemen2al. So in case you need some help with flyer designs, you can ask, privately DM Elemen2al. He can help you out with this. It's one of his many services that he provides in addition to hosting Monday night. So that is great. All right. So that's for our promotions. Back to our list. So Daniel, I'm sorry we accidentally skipped you. No more. We want to hear from you. I know you have the, where are you? Just making sure that I can see you. Stay up. Here we go. Yes. And here we are. But you are not really zooming in from San Francisco, unless you happen to be visiting.
No, I just changed the background. But I'm actually in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey.
Hey, New
so not far
Jersey.
from New Rican Cafe. It's about an hour drive from here.
No, and it's great, and I've seen you in person at one of the Wednesday slams, which on Wednesday. So I'm so glad you're here. By the way, for those of us not in the New Jersey, New York area, it started lightly snowing like an hour ago. So this is our first significant snowfall we're getting at all this winter season. That's why it's great to be online. Daniel, let everyone know where we may follow you, and then go ahead. The next 3 minutes are all yours.
Sure. I just put the things in the chat. One of the things I want to do is make an announcement. I am working on putting a book together. So there's that going on. And my poem kind of goes coincide with it. It's not in theme, but it is called I Hope You Like This, which is about an artist who is putting his soul into a book, but afraid of getting it out there. I hope you like this. Touching souls with rhythm, unable to heal his own like Avicii. Distractions that entertain like the shows that we stream. Writing to elude pain and to generate self-esteem. To stab agony because euphoria becomes a need. Flip seriousness like the average meme. Laughing at the lies of a Ponzi scheme. I write to forget, I have bills to pay. Short on rent and my thoughts are in disarray. I tried to hustle just to make it for the day. Lost everything I've gained because I decided to wait. This book contained pages of my spirit. The ink liquefies closure while depression remains explicit. Writing trauma in ways to craft my existence. Looking at death in the eye like a convict. Let the pen bleed my heart because there is a list of benefits. I want to help and say, don't mention it. A collection in the public that can be a pivot in life, sharing my experiences despite what stress can ignite. Stay at night to write what I might, smite the demons with rage and spite. Hopefully I make enough to pass by. letting people love the words that caught my eye, bring life to a soul that has already died. I ranked up enough debt to not feel alive. Sadly, with every paycheck, my energy declines. Can't leave this cage, and it's worse if I resign. Opening Pandora's box because my ego is vigorous. I let emotions fly, forgetting it's dangerous. Jot down my conscience, trying to be melodious. Using metaphors to get poetry jealous. As zealous as I am writing this book, I struggle to be optimistic. A reckoning for love, hoping it's organic. Putting my heart back together like a mechanic. But my left ventricle is lost in the Atlantic. It's sad that life makes you question what's legit, boxing you in like a mental clinic. Even when I write my stories, for me, it's realistic. Hopefully, my book can touch more lives than a pandemic. I jump into people's shoes because our generation lacks sympathy. We have to stay strong because insults are the shit that we breathe. Keep it aside like an antique while I dissolve in reviews from those who critique. Let the stories be told because I know what pain can do. End the life because no one understands what you go through. Self-inflicted, I've been in your shoes to absorb enough pain to discontinue. Take a step back and find a passion to pursue, a hobby to throw your time into. Life isn't easy, that much is true, but learn from the obstacles or else it'll intrude. I am throwing whatever I have left into publication, every dime, every penny into a future occupation to alleviate suffering. For me, that's motivation. When I cry, my tears draw my observations, pen on paper like a prescription, praying for a change and waiting for validation. I am afraid my dream will dissipate. I write to lift me and for others to relate. I hide in this bubble because I'm unsure on what others would say. Despite the fear, I'm happier than a fiance. I hope you like this because this is all me, a poet with a dream who suffers to succeed. Dissect this poem to find the message underneath. Money became a problem because I chose to believe. I believe that my words can liberate many. Remove the noose. I know it seems friendly. We are all guilty of feeling anguish and envy, but that doesn't mean to be obliterate your identity. I hope you can feel the words and cry with it. Learn as I did when in chaos and conflict. Writing becomes bliss when it's written by you, venting out the emotions your mouth refuses to. Don't ignore sorrow because those evolve. Endure empathy to let the agony dissolve. Thank you.
Woo! So many quotable lines, so many amazing words from Daniel. Everyone, please let Daniel know what you just thought about it.
Yeah, the insults part had me dying. That was good.
Yeah,
was good.
Daniel.
That was really interesting. Like I don't want to read that on my own voice.
Yeah, yes, Daniel, you just did the greatest promotion for your upcoming book. You better quit your current day job or go on vacation, tell them you need to stay home for a few days so that way you can keep writing and finishing your book so that we can all buy it. That was great. All these lines. Hopefully I'm paraphrasing. Hopefully my book can touch more like a pandemic or let these stories be told. Daniel, you are just the best. Thank you so much for keep coming back here with us Mondays, Thursdays. Please plug in with Daniel. He already had put his information in the chat. Thank you again, Daniel. All right, coming up next, Nemo Sum. Welcome back. Also has become a mainstay here with us. Always great to have you. Can't wait to hear what you brought. Nemo, just that in case, especially our newcomers may not know you yet, let them know where we can follow you. And then the next 3 minutes are all yours.
Okay, thank you so much. It's wonderful to be here. I'm Nemo Sum. You can find me on Instagram at Nemo Sum Words or nemosumwords.com, where you can download my book, the digital version of my book. I have a micro triptych this evening that is 3 thematically connected micropoems. Maybe it's the quiet I can't handle. When the storm is past, that's when I'm diving into the ditch and covering my head. When the car comes to a screeching halt, only then do I put my hands up to protect a face that's already cut to shreds. Maybe it's the peace I can't handle. When the great guns are silent and I'm standing in the quiet, and there's no more noise to drown out the scratching that's coming from inside. There's no more cacophony to muffle the cries. Everyone's fine, but I'm curled in a whimpering ball, and I find myself praying that the fighting starts again. Help wanted, urgent to fill. Must have experience with crisis and crashes and crying. Must know interventions, be able to read intentions, be okay with failing, must be able to handle doubt. Perfect candidate has been broken, has been hopeless, has been lost. Must be able to find the light at the end of the tunnel, or at least never stop trying. Serious inquiries only. If you are going to prepare a place for me to land, you should know I still come in too fast over the trees, and my throttle can be a bit moody when I'm touching down. I like to fly in the worst conditions, and I'll come in with my engines on fire and the landing gear stuck. When the wind shear is particularly bad and the rain flows sideways, that's when you'll see my light just over the horizon coming in too fast. Thank you.
Maybe coming in too fast, but just enough to land it perfectly. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Nemo Soon.
Wonderful, Nemo.
Perfect
I love your
landing. Are
work.
you kidding? Miracle Man walks away.
Thank you.
Right? Like that's how you do it, right? I'm just reminded of a Dave Chappelle skit when he was like, "Did you see that, son?" I was like, landed that shit. Listen, I know it may have, you know what I mean? People were just like, what, where is he going? But he landed that shit perfectly as a master pilot does. Thank you, Nemo Soon, for sharing that with us this evening, a mainstay of our community. He said, maybe it's the peace I can't handle. That, kind of like Jay-Z said, I got a hustler spirit, period. Like I got a warrior's heart, man, right? That peace, it's hard to deal with those peace times. Thank you, Nemo, for being a valued member of our community and sharing that incredible work with us. Real quick, everyone, please unmute yourself and give it up for the one and only Ron Mark Thompson.
Yeah, Ron. Great work.
RMT.
We are down with RMT.
RMT, every last homie.
Oh, come on.
Wow.
Come on.
Thank you.
Damn it. That dude's gusto never turns off. Damn it, Gusto. I love it. As I like to say, if you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Appreciate you for all your support, Ron. Shout out to Daniel Fernandez. My apologies for, jumping the line, but it's always great to hear you, and I'm glad we got a chance to do so. All right, let's keep it moving. Listen, because we got a few new names on the list, and I want to make sure that they get all the love that we have for them. Coming up next, a mainstay of our community, another member that's staying up in the wee hours of the night to share his incredible work with us. This gentleman is, he's just one of those scribes. You know what I mean? He just kind of does this. Where am I missing it? Where'd he go? What? Hold on. Did I miss it? Oh my goodness. I can't believe it. He jumped ship.
No. I just unmuted him. He's here. Landon, are you there?
There he is. Yeah. God damn it, Lantern. You snuck around on me. Damn it. Listen, this scribe, again, he does this amazingly. He is a world-traveled individual, and he happens to, I want to say that his pen is filled with stardust, not necessarily ink, because that dude just writes constellations in his poems. The one and only Lantern Carrier. It is great to hear you, to see you. Floor is yours. Take it away, please.
Thank you, thank you. Early 19th century visionary ideas of the Wright brothers was transformed into the reality of space exploration by powerful countries, plus the recent Branson and Bezos effects. We have seen the commercialization of space, the brutality of wars fought at great altitudes above Earth. Courtship in intimate spaces like park benches, the sentimentality of churches or walking home from college has diminished. And we now head for Match.com, Tinder, and other dating apps for relationships. Gone are the verbal conversations on trains, dinner dates, clubs, and workplace parties. We now bow heads, tapping our fingers on smartphones and laptops, engage in minimal conversations, awake with cell phones as our guards to carry on transactions, ranging from social to work, and the need to pacify loneliness and despair. Old school had the charm of morning assemblies, singing, a sense of right and wrong, grace before meals, and the moral virtues of empathy, concern, self-giving, and thankfulness. Today, they have all but vanished from schools, replaced by new work ethos, such as careful speech, longer working hours, keeping parents away from home to the detriment of children, leading to delinquency, and a cycle repeating itself, while we wonder why crime, disrespect, and complacency has increased their ugly heads 1,000-fold. The traditional family network has faded, and at home, parents are too tired to inspire children who continue to engage with tablets and networks, which are far from safe. I was a smooth talker once. Hi. If she replied, I would say, is your name Helen? No. Have you been to Troy before? The smart girl would realize that I was comparing her charisma and beauty to the face that launched 1,000 ships, and she would smile, and I would then try to win the bingo of her emotions and personal details that way. Now it's all Instagram, Facebook, and various matching sites, strange photographs exchanged on WhatsApp texts, and messenger connections. Black history, books, and religion are banned from schools, and we see our young carrying weapons that destroy lives at the squeeze of a trigger. Innovation and evolution are imperative and helpful. They bring a technology which lessens our workload and increases our excellence in architecture, transport, astronautics, and much more. A science which treats our ails, contributes to medicine and evolution of ideas. Yet ancient values are even more relevant, for without kindness, empathy, concern, the gratitude of which scriptures speak, without the advanced courses of humility and love, a recognition that we're all one, the need for self-giving, harmony, and oneness, we will sink into the dark arena of the animal consciousness where winner takes all. There's a need to show humans roses so we'll not be afraid of thorns. May our souls find us worthy. May we recognize that we all sparks of the eternal, still striving to find our way home. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
My goodness, so we are not afraid of thorns. Unmute yourself, give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mike is a
I like
flame.
the name.
Pray for peace. Pray for peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Know what I'm saying? Like, Lantern, I love the fact that you always go there, right? That cat started with the commercialization of space, right? Like, we don't even know how many things that they're doing in space right now, right? But one thing I love, I really, really love that you said, Lantern. You said, I believe you mentioned the prayer has been replaced with new world ethos, right? So where we're not even paying attention to the old school, right? We're not even focused on the retrograde anymore because it's been replaced with the new world ethos, right? So we're focused on what's happening right now. You wonder why crime, disrespect, and indecency are running rampant? And listen, I saw a few folks who jumped at that line. Listen, I couldn't help it either, right? He said, win the bingo of her emotions. Like, come on, man. Like, if that's not a piece of a love poem, if I ever heard that shit. Woo! Appreciate you, Lantern Carrier, for staying up late with us and hanging out and sharing all your incredible work. Make sure you're plugging in with Lantern Carrier, a valued member of our community. All right, coming up next, somebody else I get to yell at. So this incredible poet, right? And I understand life gets in the way, right? Has been a while, right? I get to yell at you because last week's tabs, your ass didn't come through. But I'm gonna make sure that your ass getting on tonight, tabs. Hell yeah, I'm calling you out. Hell yeah, I'm calling you out, tabs. Hell yeah. You know what it is, tabs. We miss your energy. We love your poetry. It is great to see you. Great to hear you. You know what it is. The one and only Tabs in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Again, great to see you, Tabs. Floor is yours.
Elemental, I missed you more than you know. Oh, man. I didn't even expect it neither. I didn't even expect it. I'm Tab001 on Instagram. It's a pleasure to be here. It's like family. It's like all the time. It's much love. Right. First stanza by Emily Dickinson. I can grieve, hope pulls the vid. I'm used to that. But the least push of joy has fallen beside me. His curved side has lifted caution, and here I am holding signs to my own destruction. I can grieve at the sight of noise. I'm used to that. But the least push of joy has fallen, not here nor there. At the grave of its absence, you shall find me, wandering about in a field. He has reaches through a wilds I have watered not, walking in this place without a part, making a poem out of all my pieces. I fucked up big time, but I love ya. I'm Tab001 on the gram. I hope to see ya next week. Much love.
God damn it, making a poem of all your pieces. Come on, Tabs. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Tabs.
Great job, Tab.
Yeah, glad you're back.
Thanks, guys.
Good to see you.
Right. I see the daughter of Krypton jumped on that as well, right? Making a poem of all my pieces. Tabs. Make sure you find yourself here every Monday night. Listen, it's stuff like that, right? Grieve at the side of noise, she said. Listen, shout out to Emily Dickinson, right? And if you don't know about Emily Dickinson and Walt Whitman, make sure you're plugging in, right, to the people who kind of paved the way for the poetry that we know today. All right. You may learn a couple things, right? It may not necessarily be your mix and your style, right? Because listen, they were writing poetry years before we ever thought about language or poetry, right? But these folks are definitely pillars in what we know of as poetry. Again, I've studied them in my time. Listen, make sure you plug into them. Appreciate you, Tabs. Real. Damn it. Make sure you find yourself on Monday night, Tabs. Don't make me have to yell at you, Tabs. All right. Coming up next, this brother right here, man. I keep saying it, right? I love this brother right here, man. Every time he comes through, he is enlightening. Make sure you plug into this cat, whether inside or outside of his classrooms. You are bound to learn quite a few things. The one and only Oso Lobo, aka Propaganda Poet. Unmute yourself, brother. Let the folks know where they can find you online, man. It is always great to see you, Prop. Floor is yours, man.
Speaking of the classroom, I want to thank you all for making a long night of grading both easier and far more difficult, because man, I just got to stop and listen, but I got to get through it. So I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. And so retro, I got a couple. First, a haiku. Marilee got me all inspired with haikus. So here's a retro haiku. Past me, I always thought future me would fix this shit. Future me is pissed. And so now I'm going to go ahead and give you a poem since we're doing retro. This is retro Oso Lobo. This is Ieska Matro. When I was finding out who I was, who my family was, where I came from. This is like 30, 35 years old, something like that. So here you go. Here's some retro. Today, it's okay to be alive. Yesterday, my perception might have strayed a different way. That is to say that on those days, it's important to entertain the pain, because today, it's okay to be alive. Lea Pitokin Lilawashte. Today is a good day, but not to die. You see, I cannot tell a lie. I ain't got time for that uncertain future because I'm still too busy trying to decipher my past. It would appear that manifest destiny has captured my destiny. So now I'm not even quite sure what my ancestry is. But from what I've been able to gather, the story goes a little something like this. Many, many moons ago, some random Trader Joe fell in with the Shawnees. And then it seems that he just took one of their nieces because he was raging about being dissed on what was already a good trade. But just like any other treaty being tossed out to the tribes, he failed to mention the bribes or extortion or the shape-shifting ways of terms and conditions, though he had plenty of ammunition for any retort they might have had. To make a long story short, it appears the dear old granddad went out on a binge and brought himself home an Indian girl. Now, she might not have been an official slave, but she gave and gave and gave and gave. And then one day he planted some seeds, but somehow she found some inner solace by tending to their needs. And now, 4 generations later, I am me. I am Tox White, and I have arrived in my homelands. I did not ask to be born on the white side of the tracks, to have my blood thin pale. I did not ask to be grown in shrink-wrapped suburbs where summer camp reduced my indigenous heritage to Indian arts and crafts. I did not ask for a bleached mother, blood drained of all color, because image was more important than imagination and appearance meant poorer than my past. I did not ask for the honor words that a Lakota man once gifted to me, even though I did not ask for them. He said, you don't have to have red skin to have a red heart and journey the red road. Lea Pentokin Lilawashte. Today is a good day, but not to die. Today is a good day to survive. Thank you for listening. Thank you for encouraging my behavior. Thank you for being who you are and doing what you do, because y'all make the world a better place. And Lord knows the world needs to be a better place right now. So thank you for being the people to do that.
Listen, Prop, it is a great day to survive because we get to unmute ourselves and give it up for Propaganda Poet.
Yeah, propaganda. That was
Love
great.
you, Prop. So good.
Propaganda. Propaganda.
Buy his books.
Awesome. I absolutely love how Southern California is treating you, Prop. It fits you well, brother, for real, right? And you've been to North County. You've been to my alma mater. Shout out Maricosta. It's the business. Shout out Glassless Minds. Listen, it's so many things going on. Prop, I'm coming back at you, man, real quick. And listen, this is for all y'all who may see this. You do this, I'm coming back at you real quick. Tell me, Prop, why it was so important for you to use your language flip, and tell us about the language that you use in that poem.
Oh, that is Lakota, which unfortunately I am not using nearly enough, so I am losing, which is just a metaphor for the greater issue of indigenous languages being lost and disappearing. And indigenous peoples understand that language and land, these things, we don't own these things. These things don't belong to us. We belong to them. And if we don't hold on to the languages, especially of the indigenous cultures, and hold on to the places that we come from, then it will be lost, and everything will be lost with it. Language is the basis of everything that is a culture, everything that is the history, and especially when it's coming from cultures that are oral historians and traditions. And without that, we lose meaning, we lose identity, we lose self, and we need to keep these languages alive.
Prop. Damn it. All right. I'm coming at a few folks because we just need to tangent on this. Daughter of Krypton, I'm coming at you. Talk about what Prop is talking about how important it is to keep the indigenous culture alive through the language.
I put it in the chat. But it is important, you know, this is, if nobody is going to, you know, propagate it and show the love, we have to, otherwise it dies. And it is just, there's such a strong heritage that people are unaware of and that have been covered up for so long. No more, you know. This is our way to forward it into the future, share it with people, and it's our beautiful native tongues. Use them every time you can.
Every time you can. I absolutely love that. One more. Mr. Tez, if you're still hanging around, please, I would love to hear your take. I know that you like to use your native tongue and a couple different ones in your poem. Could you please chime in on this as well?
Mr. Elemental, thank you. I think language is so important because it's how we constitute the order word, how we order the universe. And I think also Loa was sharing, like, you know, even the semantic frames are so different. Like, we can't interchange them. They're so conceptually different. And it's so important to resonate those and reanimate them and bring them to life and extend them, because they represent a different corpus of life. And I propagate Nahuatl, which is one of our languages.
See, thank you, Mr. Tez. Thank you, Prop. Thank you, Finn, for just taking the time to talk to us about that. Right? Everyone doesn't necessarily have another native language other than English to flip into, right? But I think it's important that we make sure we highlight, you know, why it's important for you to keep those things going, right? I've been around people whose you know, native language was not English, and one of the first things that I always come across with them is, damn it, how do you say this in English? And it's not always easy to translate those things, right? But because there's so much more to it, right? So I implore all of you, whatever native language you speak, whatever it is, bring it to us, right? I may come at you and ask you for a slight translation, but you don't necessarily have to give it. Make sure you're bringing all the energy in your native tongue that you need to bring. We are here for it. Thank you, Prop, for setting it off this evening. Appreciate you. All right. Coming up next, this brother, listen, I might mess around and start having to call this cat Pulpit CP Mays, because this dude has always got it ready, right? His flow is locked in, and he's, woo, congregation, let the congregation say, God damn, the one and only CP Mays is in the building. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Man, you know what it is. Give it to them.
Hey, everybody. CP Mays, IG, CP Mays, Facebook, CP Mays, email, CP Mays. Yeah, I don't sleep, so get at me. We can write together. Retro, this is kind of what I came up with. You will never be able to buy me. but you can for damn sure borrow the bottom lines of these two middle flip fingers. I can finance you. 2 fuck yous at a hallelujah high interest rated us as a force to be fucking reckoned with. And the year 2006, too rich with character to be bought by anyone. A cluster of 20-something low self-esteems, a bunch of balancing act basket cases. We lubricated our longing for self-love by throwing back shot after shot of asphalt elixirs, self-medicating mixtures of hydrocodone, pain pills, codeine, X pills, beer mixed with liquor, mushrooms mixed with raw cereal. Listen to me carefully, motherfucker. I said we couldn't be bought by anyone. We rented out rooms in lions' dens without paying rent, furnished figurative language with cigarette butts and Stranger. Best believe you are goddamn beautiful. Professors were dumbfounded by our use of diction, viewed pimping promoters the way we view pimping preachers and pastors as nothing more than the buffet's collection plate of bastards. Don't you dare ask us if we believe in God. We know God personally. Do you know how many meals I missed solely surviving off these words I spit too often? Cracking smiles like pickaboo coffins, dreams like nightmares, raising up the dead. Pardon the I'm for the people posted up on my tongue. But why will someone turn up the music in my head for I've forgotten which one sounds like God? Where were you when you last attended funeral services for your own dreams? Wrapped in unemployment sections of newspapers, I rather punch a clock before slapping a snooze button. Dare any cop to cardiac arrest me for heart beating up time. Y'all, there are ghosts slanging dope in your childhood. Pickpockets robbing your ambition from right underneath your nose. Fiends, crackheads, junkies are dying to tell you love is the very first ever great wave drug, but you won't listen because the music's too loud in the house party of pity that's inside your head. Your rib cage is a hole in the wall where your heart lays in fetal position. The lifelines in your hands are really frayed loose nooses of why won't you hold on close to me will die from accidentally falling in love with yourself. It's trying to blackmail you again. It doesn't want you to run circles around your halo as if you just hit a fucking home run during our hangout late night session. We had killers and convicts holding conversations with tenured professors and religious study theologians. We were anthropologists and fashion majors, high school teachers and sign language interpreters, self-employed businessmen and double majoring college graduates. We were restaurant waiters and servers and busboys and barbacks. We were 3 a.m. late night drummer boys and left-handed guitar players, tap dancers and interpretive dancers and sultry soul singers. We were hippies and graphic design artists. We were classically trained piano players and ballet dancers. We graduated from Juilliard School of Music and their School of Dance. We were exercise physiologists and part-time psychologists, and once a Marine, always a Marine. I am a coterie of diction, defying the heaven of a hallelujah like it's a high wire act. We were concrete killers of catharsis, y'all. The cement mixture killers of the page. The word art hidden in the word heart. And motherfucker, we couldn't be bought by anyone. Poem.
This fucking guy. Let the church say, God damn. Unmute yourself, give it up for CP, man.
God
CP.
Hey, we all come from this crazy collection of artists, man. Like we all was like broke in our 20s, like you were saying, like in our 20s trying to figure out how to make ends meet. We lived off each other, so art begat art. So yeah, man, we were everything.
It's my turn.
Stay everything, y'all.
Yeah. Listen. There are folks that do this, and then there are folks that do this. Buffet selection plates, bastards. This guy, ghost slanging dope in your childhood. Like, come on. He said we were killers and convicts, right? High school teachers and sign language interpreters, right? Left-handed guitar players and goddamn tap dancers, right? When was the last time you heard Savion Glover's name, right? Beyond Happy Feet. Come on, man. Old school challenge. Listen. Appreciate you, CP Mays. Like I said, may the church say, God damn, it's CP Mays. A mainstay of our community. Make sure you are plugging in with all that CP Mays does. A mainstay of our community, always ready to set it off. Woo! All right, y'all. Coming into the home stretch of the evening. Listen, and let me tell you, this part of the lineup is just as dope as the beginning of the lineup. Coming up next. Unfortunately, I don't get the beautiful blowout afro this evening. However, we still get to be delighted in the wonderful styles of the one and only Jennifer Velez. Unmute yourself. Let the folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you and hear your incredible work. The floor is yours. Take it away.
Thank you. You can find me at princess_homegirl on Instagram. I don't know how I'm going to follow this guy. I'm just kind of like, I don't know what. I had writer's block too, so I'm just going to give you a couple of haikus and a couple of tiny poems. All right. Okay, let's start it then. All right, here's a couple of haikus and then whatever. A damp and cold day in front of huge locked church doors. A man sleeps on steps. Windy reminder. My afro sailed through trade winds. I'd rather be warm. A cool breeze blows through the streets of the Lower East Side. A crisp maple leaf crunched under the foot of a dust head. They both were surprised. This is Penn Station. 34th Street is a journey through scaffolds, which are tunnels to work and home, that amplify echoes of crackhead howls amongst the pigeon shit. Just past the empty wheelchair is the Penn Station portal, accommodating briefcases and missing shoes. $16 from island to island, a toll paid to MTA trolls. If it's worth anything, the young homeless guy perched by the escalator yells at everyone. That's it.
Are you kidding me? She come through with the quickness and just like drop the mic on y'all. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Jennifer.
Nice work, Jennifer.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thank you.
Haikus were crazy. Haikus were crazy.
New York City. New York.
Okay. Haiku's crazy, right? Coming off with them like, oh, listen. One of the beautiful things that I learned about haiku in my poetic research is that haiku was created as a performance form, right? So when you come off with haiku like that, like it's just powerful, right? Like I know, right, in some of our teachings, right, haiku just kind of has less of that bomb power, but oh my gosh, when you look at the power of what haiku can do, right? Even your ending line, right? You said a man sleeps on the steps. Come on, how many times have we passed people or creativity sleeping on the steps, right? And we just see it as commonplace, right? But we can bring it in our poetry and make people see that person, not just see a being sleeping on the steps. Thank you, Jennifer. Listen, make sure you find yourself on Monday night. We appreciate your energy every single time you share with us. All right. Coming up next, like I mentioned, y'all, we are in a home stretch. Listen, this gentleman shared a video with us last week. This gentleman is really a part of what we do in this open mic scene. He has been doing it for a couple decades. This gentleman he's just fly with it. And we realized last week, he is a whole person. The one and only CCR Chagra. Unmute yourself, man. It's always great to see you, and we are looking forward to what you have for us this week. Take it away.
Okay, yeah. So the trouble is here. So if imagine everyone is a balloon right now, and the porcupine just walked in and it's pissed. So that's I guess if that could be a warning trigger there. I went to the 25th anniversary of the Jeff Robinson Trio Poetry Jam in Boston. It was quite the drive in and out. It was worth it. I saw people from a long time ago, got a couple videos out of it. It's too much to play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press play. I'm going to let you see what happens. And then I might have to just stop it. I could stop at 5. I could stop. If you want to let it go to 9, there's more after that, but I'm just going to let it go for a piece. If you want it all, I'll look at the chat, just stop it. And I'll put the URL for the video that I just uploaded, like as this was going on. Right after that is Reggie Gibson, who kicks a piece. There's another video in there, and then the New Yorican one he mentioned yesterday. So I'll look at the chat. If you want to blow it out, I'll just stop it. But go ahead and get mad. This one, it's on my edge even. So I am going to share screen and mumble. Where it is. Here it is. All right. I'll see you.
Okay, next up, CCR Chagra, another legend. Let's hear it for CC.
This started at the Plow and Star. 5 people were there, including Ben. 86. And then I went to the, and then I came here, and then it lasted 25 years. I just released a book that's from 20 years ago, and it was 3 chapbooks, and the 3rd one was the last time I was here. And a featured thing, so I'm grateful for that. And there are legends in this room, people who birthed a lot of souls. And what Jeff has done, hanging out behind your microphone. And good morning, Jeff, you motherfuckers. That's a great thing. This microphone is to keep us free. Speak your mind, say shit that's powerful. And to say shit you're not supposed to say, or afraid to say, or might not even make you fucking popular. Yep. Might make people hate you. Yep. You might scare people. And on that note, I want to say, I am a failure. But for the life of my life form, and the understanding of questioning all of ours as one, I cannot separate the aims of eugenics, dead, not good enough, you should die, unworthy of procreating. I cannot separate eugenics from COVID. I tried! I am alone now! Alone, the poet, crowded on the world stage of everybody living some form of
friend. I cannot control, fear, or ever wish to. I cannot trust teeth and claws of a hungry intelligence feeding on life as if it was to win. Not even as your virtual words and technological faces. We are alone, the potential of free together. An invisible and transparent touch, each mind free to die unchained. To let no lie live in the spiritual reflection of me. I cannot separate eugenics from the dividing spheres of COVID. I tried. You tried. Help me. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm alone again. I'm alone again now. May I dream. May I dream of being the art of give in the harmony of the art of receive. I'll fall to my fucking knees if I have to. Always dying with every breath and being born to choose love again with every next inhale. Dying and being born ceaselessly. You cannot have my death. You cannot have my death. It's my funeral, no one else's. Even as we share a vast grave of information surveillance. Even as we share a mass grave of information surveillance. Here, I wish to kiss the ground of death, set free, to become soil for you. I just want to become soil for you. A place for uncompromised souls. Is this thing working? A place for uncompromised souls to live free without the fear of dying. Even as the sweet scent of a living flower leaves.
Oh my goodness. I'm
So
gonna
the rest of it.
I'm gonna give y'all a second. I'm gonna come back at you, CC. You hold on 1 second right there. I'm gonna give people just a second. Unmute yourself, give it up for CCR Sean Rose.
Oh yeah.
That was relatable.
You know what, CC? First of all,
Bring bongos back.
It was two drum sets.
Yeah.
Okay, bring bongos back for real. Bongos set it off, right? Bongos set it off for real, for real. CC, I'm coming at you to ask you a couple questions real quick. First of all, your intro, I might have to steal that or some variation from what I heard when you stepped to the mic. You said the trouble is here. Damn it. Oh, come through, right? I am the trouble.
Oh, okay, yeah. The Trump. This I only said that here, right?
I love that. So tell me why it was important for you to draw the connection between eugenics and COVID.
Well, I used to be a cab driver in Boston during the mapping of the human genome. And I used to live in Central Square between MIT and Harvard. And I used to drink at the Middle East, and a lot of my buddies were professors from MIT who'd come over. So I've been listening to my my friends who used to teach biology, and then I was involved in genetics and biodevastation rally, and I met Vandana Shiva. So I felt like I've been like 20 years ahead of the curve with what's going on with us as a life form and a species, and it's hard to say shit that people don't want to hear. So it's not that COVID is or isn't in this particular piece. It's not any pros or con. But if people take it that way, if you keep listening to the rest of the piece, it addresses hatred big time.
We're
So
looking forward to it.
I ask you to go there and listen to the whole thing, and give me your critical feedback. You don't got to be mean about it, but yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I cannot. It says what it says. I cannot separate eugenics from COVID. I mean, COVID's new, but eugenics is old. And if you do it dive, you go back to the OSS, if you go back to Operation Paperclip, if you take it through the beginning of Nassau, the foundation of the CIA, if you read
hold on, CZ. Hold on. Stop, CZ. Stop. Listen. I had to cut him off, y'all, because then they're gonna think that we're buying the conspiracy theories. But let me tell you something. Everything that cat said was absolutely right. So make sure you're doing your own damn research. Make sure you're plugging into CCR Chakra, all right? Because listen, what he was saying, he was not blowing smoke of any type, all right? Everything he said is documented history. Make sure you do your own research and find out what he was talking about. Thank you, CC. And I'm looking forward to hearing the rest of that poem because it was on point, all right? And the enthusiasm which you bring and deliver your poems, that is what it's about. All right, make sure you're plugging in with CC. All right, coming up next, one of my favorite things, we get to introduce a new voice. So, we have been doing this for 152 weeks, y'all. And tonight, we get to introduce a new voice. So, welcome, Sonia. I believe that's how you pronounce your name. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Welcome to our community. Please tell me without any specifics, where on planet Earth are you located?
I am currently sitting in Stamford, Connecticut, looking at the snow outside.
Oh shit, Eastern Seaboard. Shout out Connecticut, definitely in the building. Stop playing with them. Listen, again, we've been doing this for 152 weeks. You see how it's been going, right? You have stumbled upon one of the greatest communities in the world. We are looking forward to every piece of creativity that you have to share with us this evening. Welcome. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Sanya Irfan. Thank you for allowing me to speak my words and allowing me the pleasure of listening to all of your work today. My university and work brought me to New York, but I'm originally from Pakistan. So naturally, this poem has a verse in my mother tongue, Urdu. I'll drop the translation below as well. But that verse specifically is from a classical Urdu poem written by the poet Elemen2al, and its translation is, may everywhere light up as I shine. So here's the poem. Some days I hear my dreams singing, distant, yearning. I haven't sat with them for a while. They're trapped somewhere between the bills and receipts, I think, fading into silence, pile upon pile. Some days my dreams hide in a nook of my apartment and say, catch me if you can. And some days I humor them and begin to look around the corners, between the lines, but then the timers for the laundry and a meeting go off and my dreams are drowned in the bullhorn of deadlines, so my dreams keep waiting. But I never come by. My dreams are exhausted, and so am I. But they still try to come back to me every night, now as questions when I am wide awake. But there is work to do, insurance battles to fight, so I put my dreams to sleep, turn off the light. Some days I remember what the elders used to say. Dream big, and I dreamt of vast uncharted lands, but how do I tell them? Even my nightmares are mediocre now. No more monsters and ghosts, just emails to landlords. When I go to sleep now, it is as if my dreams don't even try. My dreams are exhausted, and so am I. Some days I feel like my life itself lies somewhere suffocating between stacks of tax statements and credit reports. Some days I forget what it was like to hold a pen, to think that there was a small part that I could play to make this big, crumbling world even a little bit better. To read a book upon a whim, to write a letter, to really believe it when I sang, "Har jagah mere chamakne se ujala ho jaye." My dreams are exhausted, and so am I. But most days, I stall for a moment, to listen to a song of resistance, to walk through a storied library, to gaze at the ember moon and the stars that light up the sky. I take it all in, the wonder, the magic that catches my eye, and my dreams say to me, we are still here. And I reassure them, so am I. Thank you, everyone.
Well, guess what? And so are we. Mute yourself. Give it up for Sonia.
I'm here for all that.
Sonia, thank you for the sound.
Lovely work.
So
Pakistan,
much.
probably. That was good.
Great,
Like,
great reading. I can
accent.
feel the sing.
Thank you, thank you.
Love that.
Okay, Sonia, first of all, welcome. Second of all, you have just messed up because you need to find yourself here every Monday night with such an amazing voice. I'm coming back at you really quick because, first of all, you're a newcomer. Again, welcome. But you sung a song in your native tongue. And I would love for you to translate the words of that song that you sung in your poem.
Yeah, so it's from the classic Urdu poem. So the original poem translates to a child's prayer. It's something that every child growing up in Pakistan kind of learns, and it's just filled with prayers of ambition and hope for what I want to be as a child. So that line specifically says, "May every place light up when I shine."
Okay, because that was a line that I saw multiple members of our community connect to, right? And it was absolutely that. So I love that now we were able to connect, first of all, your beautiful voice to that, right? And I love your last line. You said, "My dreams say to me, we are still here," right? And I remind them that I am as well. That is prominence. I love that. Thank you, Sonia. Listen, make sure you find yourself here every Monday night. Make sure you plug your information in the chat so folks can remind you that sign up is on Sunday and your ass need to be on the guaranteed list because we need to hear more of your incredible work. Thank you for joining us this evening. All right. Real quick, I want to shout out a couple more folks before we get to the last couple poets of the evening. Shout out Terry Rose Jerkson, 1/3 of the Jersey Trinity in the building. Shout out DG Clearing. You know what that dude is about. Alicia P., I appreciate you for being here. We may not get to you this evening, but thank you for hanging out with us. Mauricio Moreno, appreciate you also for hanging out with us. We may not get to you this evening. However, please make sure you are signing up on Sunday before the event because we would love to hear your voices. We always love to welcome new voices into our community. Speaking of that, we have another new voice that we are welcoming into the community this evening. Am I missing it? No, of course they are. They are right there. So I I love the aspect of sharing new voices with our community. Listen, unmute yourself, please. Kristen, I believe your name is. I'm not going to try to destroy your last name, right?
It's pretty easy. But
please,
thank you.
Please pronounce your name for me.
It'd be Kristen Hakome.
Hakome. Kristen Hakome. Welcome to the Monday night online open mic. Listen, you have seen how this has gone all night. Thank you for hanging out with us this evening. Let the folks know where they can find you online. Really, it is really great to see you. Again, we've been doing this for 152 weeks. We love hearing new voices. The floor is yours. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. My Instagrams are both there, right there next to my name. Are you guys doing it in person? I saw the hybrid. I wanted to ask that.
We used to. There are things going on in the cafe. It just depends on the day. If you're in the area, make sure you're plugging into the website and it will tell you what's going on which day.
All right. In that case, should I just start? I've never done this online. I've performed before on top of a jazz beat. So,
whenever you're ready, please just let it go. Whenever you're ready,
so
please
I
take
usually
it away.
like music and I usually do a beat, but I'll just go ambitions as a rider. You know what it is. You really know the kid coming at you hard like we play in the dark. I don't care what you do. I don't care where you start. Get the fuck on go, hit pop in the whip like we running this bitch. Sorry for the foul ass words in my mouth. I gotta stay real. Time to release the quattro chambers in my chest, so me mental unrest. Life is for fun, so you know I got a gun and you know I gotta run, shooting for the sun. Okay, I'm reloaded, so please just do you, and I'll just do me, and we'll all just see we live in different truths. And then I have another one. I gotta go to sleep. I don't like counting sheep. I want my paper motherfucking green. I gotta go to sleep. I don't like counting sheep. I want my paper motherfucking green. This is just another fucking dream. This is just another fucking me. Laugh now, goodbye, good riddance. And you really know how I'm fulfilling. Cream in the middle, cream on the side. What is going inside her mind? Hungry for a steak? I got too much to plate. I got too much to give and I got too much to take. It's coming together. You already know. This is just another Kristen flow. This is straight off from the dome. This may be just another fucking mode. Beast mode. I don't know what I'm saying. This is the end of my little rap chat. What's that? Let's chat. Ba-da. And yeah, have a good day, y'all.
Oh, and that's what I'm talking about, right? Everybody can't come through a freestyle, but she did that. Give it up for Kristen.
That's
Kristen.
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Nice to meet y'all.
One of us.
Tell her, Gustav. Tell her, Gustav. For real, right? Listen.
Yeah, I have a bunch, honestly. They're
so listen. What you did was just made it worse for yourself by saying you got a bunch of them, right? Because now you got to bring all of them to Monday night because we want to hear all of them. All right. Welcome to one of the greatest communities in the world. You have heard the people say what they felt about you, right? First of all, two things that you said, right? In the beginning, you said, okay, I'm reloaded. It's about to be business when you say that, all right? And also you said just another Kristen flow, right? Listen, if that's what it is, then we are here for it, all right? Make sure you're bringing it to Monday night because we are here for it. Woo! Listen, folks, make sure you are plugging in with Kristen, hopefully a newer member of our community who is getting down all the time. Listen, we didn't miss any music, right? Your flow is locked in. Make sure you keep bringing it with us, to us. Appreciate you. All right. Coming up next. Oh my goodness. Appreciate y'all for staying all this time. We have reached the closer of the evening. I get to yell at this gentleman. I have been around this gentleman from the very beginning. And to tell you a tiny bit of story for this gentleman, he was actually one of the first folks that actually influenced me to start flipping these backgrounds, because one of the first things that I saw this gentleman have in his background, I believe, was a Torah, right? Something that he created in his background. And every time he comes through, he always has something delicious to serve up to us. So I like to call him the Iron Chef of poetry, the one and only Generalissimo Brian Franco. It has been too long, Generalissimo. Let the folks know where they can find you. I know you're always writing. One thing I can tell you about this gentleman, everything he thinks is all in his mind. Make sure you're plugging in. Generalissimo, it's always great to see you. Take it away.
In my book, everything I think is all in my mind. I'll have to put that info in the chat. As a matter of fact, I just put in the chat a little bit earlier about the barbed wire open mic, which is happening now, but it happens till at least midnight. So everyone can go to that and just drop in and they'll put you on the list. It's an amazing Zoom open mic out of El Paso, Texas, run by a man named Richie Marifo, and another man named Kit Wren, who are amazing people. So let's go ahead. I'm going to do 3 poems. Oh, the first poem, speaking of delicious, we have a new queen of haikus here, Marilee Johnson. And I wrote this when she was writing her haikus today. So let me pull this up. Row, row, row your boat. No need for oars. Marilee will read her haikus. Speaking of another delicious, whenever you take a workshop and read a poem from the workshop, always tell people, I wrote this at Ray Jane's workshop, because Ray Jane's amazing. And whenever someone facilitates a workshop and you write something, give them the credit as the facilitator. So this was written at Ray Jane's recent workshop. It's called Because Breaking Apart is Easy to Do. There's a reason fun houses aren't actually fun. Mirrors not make anyone dizzy. Sometimes they are engineered to make the reflection recipient dizzy enough they can't drive home. My funhouse mirror has been infinitely broken and haphazardly reset. As a result, my mirror image is segmented. I can still shave, floss, brush my teeth, and wash my face effectively, despite the distorted reality I've chosen to live with. People have offered to buy me a new mirror to no avail. My truth is, a new mirror won't make me see anyone new. Broken mirrors are like sidewalk cracks that never break mama's backs. They don't cause 7 years of bad luck, but they do make us look at ourselves in new and different ways. Okay, I have 2 more poems. The next is called A Treatise on the Edibility of Onion Skins. I don't recognize who I see in the mirror. It's not the unkempt beard or the baggage under my eyes. It's the onion trapped inside my soul, unable to peel away its inedible outer layers. Because my heart has been broken so oft, its skin is made of haphazardly wrapped duct tape, frayed edges attracting bodily detritus, like a lint trap in a dryer, encased in mistakes and wrong decisions, affirming its inaccessibility, creating an impenetrable barrier to love and happiness that can't be breached via sad love songs, or tear jerkers, or ear nibbles, or slow-moving fingertips. There is no Prince Charming capable of kissing away history. Munitions experts would be wasting their time with dynamite. Superman might go blind if he tried to melt it with his stare. I am resigned to accept my permanently damaged heart, still beating and trying to find ways to find love, despite all the duct tape and detritus that might only exist inside mine. And there's this woman who is the current LGBTQ poet laureate of Long Island. She's in her 70s. Her name is Rusty Rose, and I believe both Jane and Lizzie have met her, and I've met her in person as well. Her name is Rusty Rose, and she was 17 when Stonewall happened, and she was actually in the bar. So this is called Before, dedicated to Rita, Rusty Rose, and everyone else who was inside Stonewall when it was raided by the NYPD June 28, 1969. The Shangri-La sang, "Give him a great big kiss" on the jukebox before it happened. It was a hot, humid evening. Judy had passed 6 days prior. She was one of the original allies decades before ally was used for our purpose. Dorothy was the ultimate lost soul in a surreal, hopeful tale. We all hoped for a world where windows didn't have to be blacked out in our bars. We all hoped we didn't have to hide our true selves in public or at work. None of us believed it was possible. Always chance the cops might raid our spaces and print our names in the papers. It was a hot, humid evening. The subway was crowded. I climbed the steep mountainous stairs from underground, walked up Christopher Street, told the bouncer at the door the password, and entered. I sat at the bar. The beer was cold. I felt relief as it cooled my throat. I was in a place that was filled with people like me. Dare I use the word family? It was as safe as a space could be decades before someone would say the words safe space. Patrons danced and smiled and flirted just like any other bar. Then it happened. Gracias, everyone, and gracias, Elemental. This is always a wonderful space. You're doing a wonderful job hosting, and I'll put some info in the chat about how to buy my book. Thank you.
I told y'all, I called this gentleman the Iron Chef of poetry. He does this every single time. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Generalissimo.
Great job. Thank you for the poem.
Thank you so much.
Closer.
Thank you.
Marley.
Okay.
Audio
Okay.
came through. Your video connection slipped, but the audio lasted.
I mean, we might as well call this dude Generalissimo Rivera. Like he just closed all the way, man. The beard is man. Like I don't know. I'm getting a whole lot of Letterman vibes out of it, right? Maybe even some North Pole out of it. I know you're in the North. Listen, Generalissimo. I don't know, man. Maybe it's something about that chair, man. It's about like the whole nine. It's just working. Generalissimo, it's just money in the bank. I love the fact that you said I wrote this at work at Ray James' workshop, right? And as I mentioned earlier in the evening when Mary Lee was reading her Pankus, right? We are learning from each other and we are strengthening each other, right? My cousin likes to say iron sharpens iron. Right. And that is exactly what we're doing. Every single week that we spend this time together, we are working together to sharpen each other, to strengthen each other. I love all of y'all so much. Oh, my goodness. An onion trapped inside my soul. Generalissimo, I'm telling you, that dude's an iron chef, man. Dare I use the word family? Safe space is a really, really key thing, right? For no matter who you are and where you are, finding a safe space to be who you are is absolutely key. We do our best to make sure that Monday night is exactly that. Thank you, Generalissimo, for being a valued member of our community and coming through and sharing all of the tasty things that you continue to create. We have come to the end of the evening. All right. Shout out Samuel Rain. Shout out Mr. Speaker. Shout out everyone who is watching on the social media platforms. Listen, make sure you are plugging in with the cafe. All right. Check their social medias. Make sure you are plugging in on the website. Make a donation. Get some merch. Represent in your corner of the world. As Generalissimo said, and a few other folks I know are headed that way, make sure you're plugging into the Barbed Wire Open Mic series, all right? Richie Marufo is a fantastic host, right? Their space is absolutely welcoming. It is one of the best in the Zoom verse. Really, plug in. If you still need some things going on Monday night, make sure you're plugging into Barbed Wire. It is an amazing space. Make sure you're plugging in to all the things that the cafe has going on. Thunderlung Thursdays, Friday night with Jive Poetic. Shout out to one of the dopest producers in the Zoomverse, RMT. If you're not down with RMT by now, damn it, you should be. Make sure you're plugging in next week where the theme is the taste of flavor or seasoning. All right. And as we leave this evening, I'm going to leave y'all with this. It is always a pleasure. It has been my pleasure this evening. Until we meet again, folks, I'm going to leave you with this. Until we meet again, sending you with all the incredible energy and inspiration we gathered this evening. May this energy supercharge the rest of your week till we find our way back to Monday night. Be kind to yourself and each other. Make time for yourselves because you are valued and appreciated. Your voice is necessary and always valued in this space. On behalf of the greatest community in the world, it has truly been a pleasure spending Monday night with you. You've always welcome here. You could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us, plugged in to the greatest community in the Zoomverse. Until next week, y'all, I love every single one of y'all. Stay energetic, stay inspired. Peace and blessings, y'all.